YouTubers, Mike Martin's here. Mike Martin's channel. I got to remake this video because the audio for some reason didn't record on my newer Samsung phone that I have. It's been doing that when I try to receive calls or when I make a call. People can't hear me. I could hear them. But good job, Samsung. Good update. Last update was good. My phone screwed up. Anyways, guys, what are we talking about? This is a major one. Student loan horror stories. Now, this is a big one because a lot of people were roped in to the student loan debt. Do you remember the time of the huge Reagan, I guess, re-centralization of student loans and basically regulating student loans and regulating interest rates in student loans during the Reagan administration? A lot of people got really hurt bad financially with that. And what I'm going to show you guys here, you guys have no idea what you're going to see. You're going to actually think it's a lie. But do you remember the whole pharmaceutical thing? Remember back in the day, pharmaceuticals? All the aging baby boomers, we need more pharmacists. We can't survive without pharmacists. We need pharmacies. Well, that didn't do so well, right? A lot of people graduated. They even created pharmacy schools, and people weren't even headhunted, or I think less than 1% got hired from that school, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So what is going on? Student loan horror stories. Whoa, borrowed $79,000, paid $190,000, now owes $236,000. That sounds like a bad cell phone plan to me, but not in this quantities of money. Cell phones, they kind of get you once and then try to get you a second time before you quit. And that's with like big cell phone providers. That's their actual business is to get you and then screw you a second time. And then either because they can't provide a good business or a good service or a good something, right? Now, with student loans, a little bit different. It's called bait, catch, release, you're screwed. So basically, they create a shortage. They create a dilemma. They create some sort of urgency. Then, we need more educated people. So what do? They swing people into education, make them quit decent-paying jobs or good careers to go back to school so they could get something better. But realistically, a lot of them got screwed over with this. Now, let's take a look at this. Take a look at this. Look at this. This is kind of important. Buddy is 45, okay? And he took on a loan back in the day, and it was the Reagan. Where's the Reagan? I saw it here. Yeah. Paying the Reagan rate instead of the pre-Reagan rate. So what happened was things got regulated and interest rates went up, right? He was left with a balance of $79,000. Now pay attention to this. Watch this. In 2002, he's making $28,000 a year, but they didn't see much of that money. In 2004, his wages began to be garnished. A single federal lender can garnish up to 15% of disposable pay, i.e. what's left over after the mandatory withholdings. If there is more than one lender, they may garnish up to 25% of wages. So there it is. So Chris's pay was garnished 15% from 2004, 2011, and 25% from 2011. So basically, pay attention to what he says here. They apply your penalties first. So that's the Mafia, breaking your knees when you don't pay them. Then they adjust, then your interest, so the VIG, and then your principal, right? He says, so really they're guaranteeing that you're never going to pay down your loan. So basically he paid, the article's a well-written article here, it's on Zero Hedge. He's already paid $190,000 towards the $79,000 and still owes $236,000. And there's offices with all these incredible employees, great people working there like, let's find them some more, let's do this. How many more people could we get fines off? It's like video stores. Video stores made money when you didn't rewind your tape so they could charge you. Video stores made money when you were late. Video stores didn't make money when you brought your videos back. Now, take a look at this. States with the highest and lowest debt, federal student loan. So federal, remember, it became federalized. But here's a little story, and pay attention to this. Back in the 60s, early 60s to late 60s, you could work one summer and that would pay for your college, your car, your rent. Yeah, you're not living with your parents when you're in college. Everything else for the year. Bagging groceries at the grocery store one summer. That would pay for everything. I'm not making this up. Then then from the 60s to the 70s, you needed a part-time job. And then from the 80s they started regulating student loans and making it like, hey, and they started raising the prices on fees, raising the prices through the nose, and then they started selling the agenda. You need education. Now, there's not a lot of like in Canada, there's not a lot of Canadians getting the higher level educations. There's a lot of foreign students coming in that's helping prop up our economy, and that's another story for another time. And the entrepreneurs with the Airbnbs and student rentals are having a tough time with these big entrepreneurs. Anyways, so here he is. A new report upgraded points examined by federal student debt across the country and determined which states collectively hold the most and the least debt using data from the Office of Federal Student Aid. Though the stress of carrying student debt knows no bounds, borrowers in certain parts of the country are definitely more burdened than others. So take a look at this. So here are your borrowers right there. So look at Florida. Look at that. Total debt, 93 billion, 420 million, right? Look at that. Look at Texas, 110 billion. Look at Arizona, 29 billion. These are the reason why Arizona's got all this debt is because of the Californians that move in here, Californians that move into Colorado. So these ones are going to get, because a lot of Californians, look at the California debt. 137 billion, 760 million. So a lot of them are moving, like same thing with New York and Pennsylvania. Look at that. Look at New York. So they're spreading out the debt as they kind of migrate through the country. That's just my opinion, because they have to move to more affordable areas to live in. They can't live in these cities anymore. Most of it's been bought out by high-end investors with laundered money. So this one here, I sold Bibles to keep my student loan debt low. It turns out I didn't even need that degree. Guys, please, research. Understand, what are they selling me here? Remember, the student loan or going to education is a package. They package it for you. We need this. They create the shortage. Then from the shortage that's created, they go ahead and create the supply. We need more supply to meet the demand, right? So they create these shortages. Then the demand gets created. You go to school. You pay through your nose to get some degree in gender studies or whatever, and then you realize no one's going to hire you. And yeah, and that's what happens there. So that becomes a major issue, right? So I want to go to the part here where I read for you guys in the last video, but I'm going to do it again. Others push for even more. Some senators, yeah, right here. However, it's not just the poor taking out loans. Students from families earning more than $114,000 a year borrow at the same rate as the lowest income students, and they take out loans nearly twice as large. Students with advanced degrees, lawyers, doctors, and others account for 40% of student loan debt. Now, go and look at, oh, he's a lawyer, but he's doing okay. No, look at how many lawyers are graduating. Look at how many lawyers are graduating this year, how many graduated last year and the year before. They have enough lawyers to the year 3050 because there's just too many lawyers to fill the positions. Oh, baby boomers are retiring. We need more lawyers. That's not going to fly. Anyways, here's why Betsy DeVos won't cancel student loan debt. Now, she brings up some good points. Student loans. So why? One, most Americans don't have student loan debts, right? Two, it's unfair for those who already paid off their student loans. That's true. And three, taxpayers will pay the bill to cancel student loan debts. That's very important. And pay off student loans. So basically, those are very key points, because I didn't go to college or university because, one, my high school told me that I was no good, and I have a grade 7 or grade 6 reading level. So they told me that it's not a good idea to do that, because it would just be it wouldn't be worth it for me, because I probably wouldn't find a position or a job even if I did graduate, because my academics were low. And I went into trade. I was a tradesman out of high school, and I started with co-op program. My academics or my studies were so crippled low that it was so bad, like that they had to put me in a cooperative half day in school and half day in the transmission shop. And that's when I learned transmissions, and that's when I learned my trade. Right? I learned my trade. I was a transmission rebuilder from basically 16, 17 years old till I was 25, 28, 27, 28. I did really well. I even get headhunted today asking if I want to come and rebuild transmissions again. The pay was really good. It was working in a garage, basically, but you're rebuilding transmissions. Somebody takes it out of the car, puts it on my bench. Sometimes I take it apart if I feel like it. Or if let's say the transmission, I built it last week, it came back, there's a problem with it. I would take it apart myself to see where I made the mistake. If it was a clutch, a servo, a planetary was loose or something, or a shim, a check ball. So many things could go wrong, right? Accumulator spring could have broken, all kinds of stuff. Valve body springs. It just goes on forever, and it's a nightmare. Okay, so that's what I got into. I did really well. Then I started doing my own business. I started trading stock. I started learning the markets. I started to self-educate myself because I was told, and I was programmed at a young age, don't waste your money and time with education. It's not your thing. And it wasn't. And that was good, because back then we had a good guidance plan, a good guidance program. And that's what my kids are going to do. I'm going to tell my kids, look, I need you to get a trade. My daughter, I need you to learn, become a nurse. You're going to become a nurse. Then you could go ahead and follow whatever dream you want. But later, you always have the nursing to back you up. For example, that's an example. My son, to do something, a plumber. Learn this, learn this, learn this. Learn the business. Learn how to order in parts. Learn how to install parts. Learn what to do. Learn how to retrofit. Learn customers. Learn customer service. Understand how to balance your books. And then go ahead and follow your dreams. And that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start kind of training my kids into trades. And then from the trades, they could go ahead and do what they want, because later on, they still have that kind of MacGyver instinct in them that they could do something hands-on. So here it is, another one here. Go ahead and forgive student loan debt. That's another thing there. And it's not going to work, because with too many, this is more of a Bernie Sanders thing / I don't know if Biden, I don't think Biden's going to do something. I don't think he could do something like this, because the GDP, or ever since they regulated student loan and student loan debt, it's a big help to America's GDP. It helps America. America's not exporting and doing what they used to do back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So they got to harness money on the backs of young people, and then, again, hook, line, and sinker them into a false demand. And there's going to be a shortage. We need more of these, and we need more of those. And hopefully we could fill those gaps and get hired right out of school. And that's not happening. And there it is right there. There's your debt load. And look at that. Look at that. That's in some areas, the dark red areas. Look at Georgia. I remember when I was in Macon, Georgia, and I remember the commercials. Are you down? Or have you been laid off? Are you out of work? Well, education is the answer. All these courses offered, blah blah blah, at these local universities, and blah blah blah, backed by government federal student loans. Apply and see if you qualify. And then, wow, like every 10 minutes there was a commercial about that. I'm like, wow, they're really pushing the student loan agenda here down in the South. And it was a big deal. In Florida, they had commercials like that all the time. In Florida, you saw more of the reverse mortgages. Are you over 65? Do you own your home? Well, we're going to take it. We're going to give you a bunch of money. And then when you can't pay it back, we'll take your home. They don't tell you that in the fine print. Well, they kind of probably put it in the fine print, but they don't tell you that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This student loan debt is a lot worse than what they're making it out to be. It is a lot worse. They're not telling us the full picture. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. It is a lot worse than what they're trying to, that right there. You pay $79 large. You owe $79 large. You pay $190, and now you owe $236 large. The Mafia doesn't even do that. The Mafia does not do that. That's crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon.